Welcome back to the Center Podcast. I'm your host, Victor Long, my co-host, Mark. How you doing,
Yo.
sir, today, bro?
Today, I am good.
Proper chop.
If you want to talk about,
Yesterday?
a week ago from today. Well, it wouldn't be a week ago from today when y'all seeing this, but me personally.
Last week.
Yeah. It was a sad day.
It was alright. They played their heart out. You can't really... The offense played their heart out.
There we go.
Jalen played his heart out.
There we go.
Man of many proverbs. He handled it well. What can you do? Like, he really... Like, if you look at it all numbers... I'm not going to go super because we just had a Super Bowl episode last week. If you look at all the numbers, he had more yards, more touchdowns, more passing yards, rushing, all of that on his own compared to Patrick Mahomes. And the Eagles as a team, we gave them more yards, more everything. And we had the ball for like the whole fucking game.
Yeah.
Like,
again, that makes no sense.
what it came down to was a shitty call. And at the end of the day, either like there's always in those games, there's always a team that's gonna get a break in a way.
Yeah.
And it was just so happened to be them. In my opinion, it should have been one. They didn't call penalties like the whole fucking game, unless it was like very clear and obvious. It was very rare. I think there was less than 5 in the game, maybe even less than 3 total. And yeah, they just decided to make a call on that play. There was literally another penalty that would have been on the Chiefs on that same play that didn't get called. And if they weren't making those calls all game, then why make it then? You know what I mean? Because there was a play with it was both the same 2 players in that pass interference that happened earlier in the game that was way more egregious and out there and clearly a foul than the one that he called at the end.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're not calling that one, then don't call this one. There's just a little bit of consistency, like, because in all honesty, like, the ball was nowhere near him anyway. Even if he wasn't fouled, he was not going to catch it.
Yeah.
So it's like, it would have been 4th down. They would have kicked the field goal, and they would have been winning 38-35. And we would have had a little bit less than 2 minutes to go and at least make it to either tie or win the game, or even lose. And if we would have lost, hey, we got beat. Yeah. We can't do anything about it. If we tie it, we each get a chance to go at it one more time. That's a way better way to end the game than call some bullshit like that. But again,
that's why I said, if anything, I was more just sad than upset with the way
it ended. Yeah, like. Because it's not even me saying as an Eagles fan. It's just like if it was 2 teams that weren't the Eagles and somebody else, if I saw that play, I'd be like, yeah, that's fucking bullshit. Yeah. Like, you don't make that call at that time of the game compared if you're not making it earlier. Yeah. If they was calling everything, cool. But it's like, be consistent. Anyway, it is what it is. They lost, and we'll try and come back in the next couple of years. It is what it is.
Yep.
Can't really do much about it. More importantly, I have a short story I want to. It was kind of funny. Don't be offended, people watching this, but I was driving down here, right? And, listening to my music, you know how I be doing my thing. Making my taxi, on my way. I'm driving, right? I'm on the highway. You ever drive on the highway or anywhere where, like, you kind of just go on the same speed for a while because it's just straight, just a long drive? And you notice kind of like on the side of your eye that a car has been just this, like, literally, like, eye to eye with you, like, for a good, like, 2 minutes?
Yeah.
So that will happen to me, right? So somebody that's just like, yo, like, are y'all trying to race right now? Like, why are we? Because, people will usually just pass you.
Yeah.
But we were just there, like, lined up. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I look over, and it's this girl, right? And, young, probably our age. It was her and, like I said, like a friend of hers or whoever she was with in the passenger. But it's this girl, like, like, hair, like, she was, she had herself put together. So, like, hair, ponytail up. Like, little black bubble coat, makeup all done, like, girly girl type person. I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Don't know why you driving like this next to me, but whatever. What really troubled me is that, like, she was, like, she had a very typical, just like girly girl type of appearance. And then clear as day, she's not looking at the road, just staring at her phone to the side and just like moving with me. So I got concerned, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna drive away from this person because I don't want no dumb shit to happen. I just fixed my, like, I don't need no, I'm trying to get Mark, we got to record. I'm not trying to get into an accident right now. So I'm gonna just move away from this person. So I speed up, but then I look at my rear view and she's driving. You want to guess what car she's driving?
A Nissan.
Yes, a Nissan Altima. And I'm like, I hate to be that person, but you're this stereotype right now. Like she was just like all up on her phone, just driving mad reckless, fast as fuck in a Nissan Altima. And I'm like, damn, like it's hard to be mad when it's true. You know what I mean? So I was like, I hate to stereotype you right now, but I was like, damn, you just fit the bill to the T. You don't even know it. But yeah, that I just got like a little laugh to myself in that. I was like, damn, like it's hard to defend y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all out there who
Nissan,
drive the Nissan Altimas.
Nissans, they either they drive really fast or they look at the road and no matter what, if there's a pothole, they'll just hit that jump. Oops.
Oopsie.
And just keeps on going, you know?
But I just like I had that brief moment to myself where I was just like, you can't. If it's a duck, it's a duck. You know what I mean? If it looks like a duck, it sounds like a duck. Then it's a duck. But yeah. Aside from that, Mark, I feel like we have this conversation like once a month, but like I fear for my life in this country once again.
Yeah.
Have you been seeing these like explosions that's been going on around the country and shit? And like these train crashings and like
yeah, I saw the train crash. I saw something as far as derailing, and then of course these things have like these highly like
it's fucking
substances.
tear gas from it's the shit that they used to kill people in like Modern Warfare and shit.
And for some reason, we just have those things just so
in the middle of Ohio and shit.
Like, bro, I trust an Amazon driver more than I trust.
Bro, like, we've had since we last spoke about it, we had like multiple balloons get shot down, multiple air crashs. We had, I think it was Ohio where the first like train derailment happened. That it was like the first like big news, and like since then there's been like 3 more. Aside from that, I don't know if it's obviously somebody had this like made a video about this saying like, you know, like TikTok algorithms. It's like, oh, like if you interact with something, you're gonna continue to see that. So it's like, I don't know if it's that, where they just keep putting the same shit in our faces. But like, there's been multiple derailments of like toxic materials, explosions, earthquakes, balloons getting shot down. I was at work yesterday or the day before, and there was, I think it was in Florida, there was like a factory that just like went up into flames. It was like it was like a 4-acre factory.
Yeah, I thought it was, at first I thought they said it was a forest fire, but it was like, it
probably evolved into one.
Yeah, it's around the forest, but it's just that idea where I was just kept reading it, it said a factory, and I was like, God damn, a factory? Like this whole thing's just burning up in flames.
And it just so happened to be like a fucking factory with like plastics that are mad toxic when burnt and all these other materials and shit.
Yeah.
And at this point, like the intelligent / like conspiracy person in me is like, you know, fraud a little bit. Like this is kind of like a bunch of fraud cases. Cause like, think about like, not to name names, but Jim Steaks, they just like randomly burned down. And like, maybe it was, I mean, it's a food place, you know, they have fires. We walked in there that one day, I got burnt by some grease. Like it can happen, you know? But a lot of those times, like,
grease in your face.
When you think about it, like some of these places, I'm pretty sure like all these places have like insurances, and if shit like that happens, if they have good insurance, they basically get more money back than a lot of times than what they actually end up paying. And like it's almost like a profit for them to even just burn down a place on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what Jim Steaks did, but that's like something that comes to mind. And then you think about these derailments, it's like, all right, you know, that's super dangerous. But like those kinds of things, like you can get claims on that, like they can kind of like recuperate from that, especially with businesses like that are super big, or even factories. Like those places are insured, so they can get money back from that. But at the same time, you think about these fucking toxins, shit's going up into the air, and like it's not like, oh, like we're being dramatic. Like people on the eastern side of PA are like really affected by this because you can smell the shit like from their homes and stuff, and it's not good for them to ingest. Yeah. And it goes up into the clouds, and it rains, and acid rain, and then the water supply is fucked up. Like this sounds like some end of the world shit, but this is real shit. Like this is not me trying to be exaggerating.
Yeah, it's not like something that could just happen. You're kind of like, oh, okay, it fell. Let's just clean it up. We're good. Like
like this is affecting real people.
Yeah, in a lot of the cases too. Again, because it's stuff like, you know, fumes and stuff like that. Like it's not just something that, again, just because it's in the air, it just kind of dissolves like it's a fart in the wind.
Yeah.
You know, like it kind of, like in a way, it's, everything is still in a way there. You might not see it, but it somehow still affects us. And again, because of how weather works and how everything as far as the cycle of precipitation, all that shit, like that shit still comes into play with stuff because it's all in a way, the elements and how it all works. But yeah, I mean, it is kind of crazy to think about, but you know, it does. I feel like I agree, you know, stuff like that's going to happen. And if we're not careful, you know, and having these problems keep happening, it's just going to get really bad, and everyone's gonna get sick. There's gonna be a whole nother type of like pandemic or something, you know.
Yeah. Not necessarily a panda. At least to me, like I don't think necessarily like a panda. I mean, unless it's like every fucking state has a fucking factory burned down. It's like, all right, bro, like somebody got to get checked out.
Yeah.
But also, I just like, especially for the people in Ohio in particular, like in the surrounding area, because like PA is like right there next to it, and air obviously fucking travels. If you're in a close distance to that, like you don't know what the long term effects of that are. Like, say like this derailment happens, right, and those fumes and shit are like spread out in the area for a week. What does that do to somebody breathing that in for a week that you might not see right now, but you may see in like the distant future or some shit, you know, especially older people that are at risk. So it's just weird, bro. And it's like, why does this keep happening in such a quick succession? I don't know if it's because of the internet and we have access to a lot of things, like a lot more information, or if this is genuinely like just strange. Because somebody was saying like what kind of sparked my conspiracy thoughts in me is that a lot of the time this stuff happens, if it's a coincidence or like multiple times, like it's probably on purpose. Like it's a lot of times not a coincidence. And people are greedy as fuck. And a lot of businesses like to cut corners and shit. So like it's a lot easier to just be like, all right, I'm not gonna have these safety restrictions that would prevent these things than to like be proactive and like stop these things from that could potentially happen. Because especially with trains and shit, it's been like in the news for a while that they were like on strike and like begging for not even like more wages, just better working conditions for those reasons. And now they're seeing the reason why they were asking for these things.
Yeah.
And now they're paying like people in the area like thousands of dollars and stuff as like to make up for it. And it's like, bro, like we just want to breathe and drink water, okay? Like you didn't have to like all of this could have been prevented.
Yeah, there's a lot of the times when stuff like that happens, there's really like a simple fix. And then sometimes it's just them not doing anything, which then causes these problems, which then causes them to say, oh, we'll just give you money. But then it still doesn't fix the problem of like, okay, well, are y'all going to fix it? Or are we still just going to kind of like just clean it up, leave it the same? And then if it happens, it happens. And we'll just go cross that bridge when it, happens again. But yeah, it's kind of stupid to kind of see, them take it in that way.
Shit is concerning, bro. You remember that one year? What was it like?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The sky.
Sky.
Remember or it smelled?
There you go. Okay, that's the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
We were at a friend's house and
it
just stank
like eggs, and we did not understand if it was somebody on the block who was making something or some type of fire, who knows? But yeah, that thing was crazy. Remember that explosion? Was it that?
Yeah.
It was that. Okay. It was like, in my head, I thought it was two separate things that happened. But yeah, I remember when I saw the video, somebody was driving and that John just exploded. And I was like, yo, what?
And then recently, not this, but like 2022, like not that long ago, I was at my house and like a gas plant, or a gas truck blew up or some shit or spilled and the whole area smelled like gas. And we were just in the house like, yo, what's going on? What?
Looking around.
Yeah, is something open? And then the whole, you check fucking Twitter and everybody's like, is everybody good?
Yeah. Really, it's insane.
Because, what if one day it's just, it's not us and, somebody just came and dropped gas on us or some shit? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Seeing all these balloons and shit, bro.
I was gonna say, somebody's dropping some type of lighter fluid on us.
I hate to be all paranoid like that, but damn.
It's dumb. They're just dropping lighter fluid.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. Honestly, there's so much shit, that, especially for my job, I'm managing, social media, so I'm on social media all day. So just passively, I'll just see news stories and random shit. Damn, bro. It got to the point where I just read them huh? And just keep scrolling. But it's fucked up shit. It's yo, this is very bad. But what can I do about it?
Yeah.
I just gotta read that shit and just act like I didn't.
Yeah, if it's gonna be something that constantly happens all the time, and things that are you're just seeing one moment you're seeing this, and you're like, wow, that sucks. And you're seeing it again. Then maybe 2 days from now you're seeing it again. And you're just like, something's not right.
I don't know. I just don't know what to do anymore. You can't do anything. That's the thing.
Yeah, you can't.
We're just, even if I was all right, we gonna start a rebellion, bro. We gonna stop this shit before we even get to. I think about this all the time. I don't know if you think about this, but it's something I genuinely think about. Not starting a rebellion,
was like,
not starting a rebellion at all. But it's like, say for real, like, because a lot of this stuff really bothers me, you know? And I'm just like, yo, like, why is this world so greedy? Like, this doesn't have to be this way. Like, everybody can eat and everybody still be okay to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Like, everybody should be able to have water, food, clothes, housing, and not feel like they're suffering. It kills me when I see people on the street, like, just living the lives that they're living. Like, even if they're made mistakes or whatever, like, you should be able to redeem yourself. And it shouldn't be as weird as it is now, where everybody's afraid of each other, like, and, you know, for a good reason. Like, shit has happened where people have to have their guard up. But I hate that it has to be that way. So I'm like, it all stems back from the system. You know what I mean?
System.
You know, if there's poverty, there's division, people go against each other or angry at each other, when we really should be mad, the guy upstairs. Not God, Biden. So, no, the US government, capitalism. So I'm like, say for real, if I'm like, all right, cool, we're going to go, because people are probably already doing this, but it's like, all right, cool, we're going to go low key, you know, get some people together that want to do this shit and, you know, make some changes. Before I even build up to get to a certain level point where it's like, all right, maybe we could do this. I get like hit by a girl in Nissan Altima and then I get never seen again. You know what I mean? Think about like Martin Luther. Think about Malcolm. Before they even became real forces, they get, you know.
So you're thinking that once you think about these things and try to do something about it out of nowhere, a Nissan Altima.
Accidents happen.
A Nissan Altima.
Yes. And then it's like, oh, it's such a tragedy. He had such a good life to live. He was doing so much good for the community. And it's not a coincidence.
Cough twice.
Yeah. It's not a coincidence. That shit happens. So it's like, even if I'm like, all right, cool, I want to be that person and like really help people. As soon as you become that person, as soon as it's like, all right, like as soon as you get up on their radar, they start to fuck with you a little bit. They try to throw little warnings. And then you're like, fuck that. I'm going to be the guy. Next thing you know, you in a couple textbooks.
Yeah. I hope that's as far as I can go. I hope I can get to a textbook in time. But
and some of them like doctors and shit, they be finding new cures and shit. They end up in the same boat. Like, hey, shut it down. And the doctor's like, no, I took an oath. Can't. I want to help people.
That's not what I
then
asked.
They shut you down.
That's not what I asked you. I said shut it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Am
crazy.
I wrong?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy because we're laughing about it, but I feel like in some sort of way, it
anything.
is true that once you get to a certain point of power, you know, there's people that are going to be in your ear and tell you, look, unfortunately, this is how it's going to be.
Yeah.
How it's always going to have to be.
It's like, all right, you can either join us or you're not.
Yeah.
And you won't be with us any longer.
Yeah, and it kind of sucks.
And that's real shit. People might laugh at me. But if you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
I read enough books, watched enough conspiracy theories on YouTube. So
I go to Victor's room. Yeah.
Tinfoil hat.
Behind this poster, he has like all these plans.
Just yellow and red string and blue string pictures.
I had it all planned out for
the
years.
kingpin.
It all circles back to Biden.
Yeah, bro. It's just, I don't know, man. That's the shit that I be thinking about. I don't know if you ever have those thoughts, but.
I mean, I definitely think about it sometimes too. Like, there's definitely these people that try to keep, I guess, the world or its government itself a certain way. And once people try to go out of that, I guess, line that they have set up for it, then it's kind of like, okay, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah. You know what I really want to do? Sorry to like, this is kind of like, not off topic, but like, in the realm, helping people. I had this thought for weeks and I was going to hit y'all up about it. You know what I genuinely want to take a day to do? Like, no bullshit. Like, this is not a joke. I want to take a day where, because I don't know if you've seen these videos on TikTok where people would just go out and like just hand out stuff or like help out and that's it. I want to go to like fucking Sam's Club and buy like sandwiches and like drinks and chips and shit and like warm clothes and just hand it off to people and like dip, like homeless people.
Just dip in the wind, just disappear.
Yeah, like just do that for a day. Like I just like in my car, just like I don't gotta film it, nothing. I just want to be like, all right, like it's about to be cold as shit out. Like let me go buy like warm clothes, food, shit, and like whatever they want. Like even shit they just not even like necessity, just stuff that they would like to have, and just hook them up. If they know anybody that needs to give them some extra and like call it a day.
Yeah, I've thought of that too in a certain way because like I've always think about when I see people who are less fortunate. I'm like, wow, like it would be cool, like again, like you said, it's getting cold, so like to have to like give them like a blanket or something like that, something that actually is like good material, not just like a freaking piece of cloth. But yeah, give them that. And I always think about how like, so I always, as soon as I think of that for myself, I think about how other people do that, and I think about how the only way I've seen that was because they filmed it, and I'm always just like, I wouldn't want to have to like organize that. I feel like that's so
I don't think there's anything wrong with filming it necessarily. Like as long as you're not like being that. There's a way to do it in good taste. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because like there's a thing of like, all right, I'm doing this to set an example or to inspire or to show that what can be done. And then there's like, wait, what's up, YouTube? Today we're gonna help the homeless.
Come on, look at this guy.
Yeah, look at this fucking bum. You want
dirty?
a sandwich, bro?
You're so dirty, man. Oh my god.
Take some Lay's.
God, you need to shower. Man, you stink.
Tell them to subscribe. It's like, all right, fuck you. But like, there's this one woman where she literally just has like a tent, and she goes like, I think it's on live where she just films it, and they don't really see the people's faces, but it's her and like her. She just has literally like, you know, outside there's that newspaper stand, like right next to where we walk in usually. She's literally like in a booth like that, and she has like chips and like sandwiches, and like she just gives a bag. It's like, oh, do you want a juice? You want a Snickers? And like just hits them up with like a little bag with like a coat and shit. And it's like, here you go, like God bless you, and that's it. I want to do that for a day. If you're down, you could come with me, and I'll call Quentin too. But I just want to take a day where like in his van. And
yeah, the van that.
And I'll pull up to Sam's, buy one of them party pack of chips, buy like a sub sandwich tray or some shit, wrap them up in paper, a little juice, little drinks, some socks, some gloves, some hats, some scarves and shit. Buy them in bulk, and just hook people up, bro.
Yeah, because you know what? I've always thought about wanting to do the same thing, but every time when I think about doing this thing in particular, I always think about how like. Usually, a lot of times you see this when like a church or something like that. But like when they have like a bunch of people, as far as like in a line, just kind of like getting stuff together. Like in my head, I picture myself like, what if we like? I mean, this depends if we actually are going to like make the sandwiches from scratch, just buy them already made. But in my head, I always think about like, okay, like we're just gonna be making like 100, 200 sandwiches. I just picture like us just like in a line, like, you know, we got this, the bread, we got the mayonnaise, whatever, we just put in it. And I'm like, yeah, I would love to just do that. Like just kind of like get everything together as far as like these people working on sandwiches, these people working on drinks, these people working on the clothing, the you know, blankets, all that. I'm like, that would be so awesome.
I'm gonna make a note to do that at least once this year. I want to do that for sure. Just take one day out, like a Saturday or some shit, and do that shit. Cause like, I don't know, it just made me like, one, it just make me feel good because I'm helping out people, and it's also for good benefit. At the end of the day, whenever you do something, there's always mutual benefit. People are always like, oh, you're doing this for this, or to like, for people who think like, nah, bro, like, I look at people and I genuinely feel like, damn, like, I can't do everything for you. Like, I can't just fucking change your life. I wish I could. If I had the means to, I would. But at least let me like help you get through like the next 2 days or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something. Cause then at the same time, it's like, it makes me feel terrible when there's people like trying to ask me for money or for whatever, like at my car or some shit. And it's like, I want to help you, but I also don't want to enable you either. So I don't know your background. So I would rather come to you with like necessities and shit that'll get you through.
Yeah, things
to be chilling.
More helpful than just money. Because that's still not the answer.
Yeah.
Honestly, just giving somebody money.
So it's tough. If y'all get us to a point where we can do stuff more large scale, for sure. But for right now, I'm gonna pull up to BJ's, buy like a party tray, wrap it in some foil with gloves, so I'm not, you know, being dirty to these people that I'm handing out food to, and you know, just give them a little God bless you and send them on their way. Maybe Q could hook them up.
God bless.
Q could hook them up a little some as well, and then they have it. Cause I'm not gonna sit here and act like
I know, but I'm just thinking it's just again when you say these things, I always just picture it in my head. I always like get the whole full thing.
But like out of all it, like that'll probably make their day more. Cause like at the same time, like that's not harming them. Like, you know, that probably just gives them a little bit of a peace of mind for a little bit.
The logistics.
Yeah. Exactly. I don't know, man. Am I weird for thinking like that? I don't know. I think that'd be cool to do.
Imagine just we create our own type of like sign or something. You know, that's it. I always like have these things pictured in my head. I'm like, yo, it's like you have the vision, I have the plan as far as what it looks like.
But yeah, I would at least just start off with a day, and obviously like I don't have Mr. Beast money and shit, but I feel like it also doesn't take that. Like, I don't
No.
mind pulling out like 100 of my own money. And like, because if you go to a place that sells a book, that's really all you'll end up needing.
Yeah.
And then you chilling, like you just hand stuff off and call it a day.
I'm like thinking, like,
And you feel good inside, you know?
Yeah. I'm thinking like, okay, we go to like a big, kind of like, I guess like a plaza, you know, where you see like a Home Depot that has like a huge ass parking lot, park somewhere in there, and just kind of like.
So my thing is with that, so like when I envision this, like, all right, I'm gonna drive around and do it, just because. Not like obviously the people who are in rough spots are probably not.
That's true. That's true.
So I'd rather go find them and be like, hey, and it'd be like, hey, if you know anybody that's also just not here at the moment, like here, take an extra one for them.
Yeah.
Type shit.
Yeah, definitely. You can see a lot of that probably in the city, and then some again like just in your regular neighborhood.
Yeah. There was one guy I was like, damn, like honestly, this was the first one I saw. I was like, yo, like it made me really want to do it. Cause this guy, I forgot what city he lives in, but it's in a place that's like usually like a normal, like a higher climate, probably like a Nevada, Arizona type area. And it was in the middle of the summer. And the guy himself, he works he was probably like a waiter or something. Like he doesn't make a lot of money. And he took the time out to do something like this. He just like had like a wagon and shit, and like, he had to carry it because he wasn't driving at the time or something. Like he really like, it was a whole lot more like effort from him to even be able to think this way. And he like brought people to cover themselves, like umbrellas and shit, or like water and just stuff to get them, because it was like 100-some degrees and they had nowhere to be. Same thing as like Philly, where it's like -3 and people are sleeping on the sidewalk like over potholes just to like get some steam and some warmth. So it's like to at least get them stuff to get through that heat wave or whatever the fuck. And that guy, he was like a white kid. He was sunburnt like to hell, bro, just because he put that time. I was like, that's honestly honorable and like amazing. Because like it shouldn't be that way at the same time either. It's like I think we mentioned it before with like famous people where it's like or like Mr. Beast, for example, like because this was most recent, and we didn't talk about this, and this shit pissed me off. This man cured blindness in like a whole bunch of people. I forgot what the number was, and people still found a way to bitch and complain. Yeah. What are you doing besides commenting at home, bro? Like, he could have just been an asshole and been like, I spent $10 million on Pokemon cards, but no, he fucking went and gave people the beauty of sight. Can you imagine not seeing, bro?
That's what I was thinking.
Close your eyes. Imagine that every day.
Yeah, I know.
And he got rid of that for them. For a procedure that was so simple. It was like 5 minutes. You saw it on video, like, beep, and that was it. Yeah. But since it's so expensive and this world is so fucked up and greedy, like I was saying earlier, people don't have access to this stuff. A lot
of it is also just the U.S. So
it was like half of the blindness in this world could be cured like that. But since they don't have access, they can't. And he took the time out of his way where at this point he's spending hella money. He's like, he's not even making profits for a lot of some of his videos.
Not. A lot of the stuff he doesn't make profit for. A lot of the stuff is the sponsorships. Yeah. The money. And again, like, to know that and to be like, I'm just going to do this to show people this isn't just a platform for people to look at and like, I mean, of course it's for entertainment and to laugh. Like, you know, that's what a lot of people thought of YouTube as anyway in the beginning, but it's more of a place where he knows and sees like, okay, this platform, I have these people watching me, rather than do it, like you said, to just make it where it's something where people just watch to laugh and just be like, oh, I spend money on some dumb thing. I broke a car and gave my new friend a new car, you know? And it's just like, instead of doing that, how about I show people like the fact that there are these people in this world that are less fortunate than me and how I can change their life in an instant because of the people that are watching that are helping me.
Exactly, bro. And regardless, like, again, like I said earlier, it's like, if you're helping somebody, there's probably a lot of times mutual benefits. Like, if we were to go to do what I was talking about, like, I would feel better about myself because I went and helped somebody today. Just because I like helping people and I hate seeing people in a bad spot. And the same thing for him is like, obviously, this is helping his brand, it's getting coverage, whatever. It's like, oh, like, he did this and he's like, no shit. Like, this is his job. Like, he's been doing this for years now. This isn't new. There was a point in time where he was probably not making money. If anything, he was probably losing money. Mm-hmm. So at the same, like, he's doing it for the right purpose, regardless if it's a tax write-off or if it helps his brand. It's still indirectly or directly helping somebody else, bro. Like, he gave them sight, bro. Yeah. He's playing Jesus damn near, bro. Like, obviously it wasn't him who did the procedure, but like, he just blessed people with that.
But the fact that there is something out there that could help him cure it, and the fact that he actually
that is priceless, bro.
Yeah,
how do you put a price on sight? Yeah. If I lost my sight tomorrow, God forbid, I would lose my mind.
Yeah, I would. Sometimes I fear about losing my hearing. Yeah, I get scared about that.
That is insane. How can you be so miserable? Oh my God. burns me up, bro. Even on our own comment section, people like mindlessly just talk shit. And I say either I go two routes. If I have a smart comeback, I come back at them instantly. Or two, I comment back like, I say this every time, and every time I've said it, they shut up and don't say shit back to me. They'll say something mad bitter or like something just false altogether. Like, or they'll say like, oh, we're not funny or whatever it may be. Or they just sound really like just angry. And I'll just comment back, I hope you get through whatever you're suffering from that's causing you to spread hate towards us. I hope you heal from whatever negative thing is making you comment this. And every time they don't say shit back. Because only miserable people spread more hate, bro. If you happy, imagine you going to somebody's. Could you ever go into somebody's YouTube video and be like, oh, like you're this or you're that?
Nah.
Nothing could ever like it. They don't matter. Like just click away. Yeah. Don't watch the video.
If anything, a lot of the time, like it really would have to be really bad for me to like even think about wanting to say it. But a lot of the times, if I do think about something that's like in my head, I think that could be like, oh, like why would they do this, or oh, that was corny, or something like, oh, they're weird for that, like
because they're miserable.
I would literally like if I'm watching somebody's YouTube and they do something that I don't like, I think that they're like weird for it. I'll instantly just probably think of like a different reason. I think of like the other side of it. I'm like, oh, maybe they did this because of this. Maybe they like. I try to like not put so much hate into it and to think, okay, they're just doing this for this reason. I'm thinking like, okay, maybe they do it because it's just how they are. Or maybe they do it because like they wanted to get this message across or something. Like I try to like put a different twist to it to not like make it seem like they're that bad. You know. But again, there's some people that are just they instantly see something and they're just like, oh, like
hater type shit. It's like, all right, even if you made a profit or when somebody donates money, like they still are helping people indirectly, whether you like it or not. Even if it's a tax write-off, even if it mutually benefits them, so what, bro? And at the same breath, the reason I even brought this up in the first place is like it should not be their duty to. Mr. Beast shouldn't have to be freaking superhero and give people sight. Like that should already be given like and be available to people by the government, the system that we're in. Like
shouldn't be something.
A famous person, just like a lot of these people in a lot of cases, say for like a Bad Bunny, for example. He was somebody, bro, from PR, not rich, from a small island, didn't come from money. And he got lucky enough or like fortunate enough, he worked his ass off and got to a point where he has mad money, he can help a lot of people. Amazing. He should not be the savior of PR and shit. Like he should not be having to like fix the whole island himself. He's one man who like grew up there. Obviously he will because he'll help out because he has the means to and he loves where he's from and he loves his family, he loves the people of Puerto Rico. But that's not his responsibility. He's doing it because he wants to and he feels like he wants to see his people succeed.
That shouldn't be the idea, like you said.
But that should be up to the government and people in charge. Like, but that won't happen. So it leaves people with a lot of money to go out of their way to help, and then they still get bashed on for it. It's like they're doing more than the people that are actually supposed to be doing it.
Yeah, that's why. Like you said, the idea where it's like somebody who comes from that place, the only way to really get it changed is if they end up getting money.
And they regular people, bro. This is like if they didn't have the money, you wouldn't look at them and be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, and it's that idea where the government just doesn't want to use their own money. So then
it's not even their money at the same breath too. Don't get me started on taxes, motherfucker.
Yeah,
our episode.
But it's just that idea where it's like they don't want to use that money because again, them being stingy and greedy. So then not even they. So then us as a people try to hope that we can actually find a way to get past that barrier, to actually earn money, to actually be in that state where we can give back without having the fear of losing, to be in the same place. And that's the only thing that's the only thing we can see because they don't care whether or not we actually like make it out and actually get the money. They don't care about that shit. They only really care about, again, how long can we just keep us out there, do the same thing. But, we find a way to try to hope that we can get out of the system, earn that money, and then give back. And like you said, it's not our responsibility, but that's the only thing they leave us with the option for it. So, but we're running out of time. Let us know what you think. If you think the same thing, if you're looking at this and probably already trying to think of a weird comment to, explain exactly what we just said, you're weird, and we'll comment right back the exact same thing. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Victor, where can they find you, and etc.?
Find me at ETC Victor, etc. at Real, etc. I don't got my camera on right now, so yeah, y'all gonna have to look at Marky.
It's cool. It's cool. Y'all heard it though. But yeah, you can find me on Instagram at CMarkyMark, Twitter at MarkyMark as well. Hope you guys enjoyed. Love each other. The world looks like it's going to shit, but we can always make it better. So just keep, doing what you're doing. Love each other. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.